Have you ever paused to consider the silent battles your body fights every single day, often without your awareness, and the fragile balance that keeps life flowing seamlessly within you? Every heartbeat, every breath, every drop of blood racing through your veins is part of an intricate symphony that sustains your existence. And yet, it is astonishing how often we take this miracle for granted. Among the most vital yet overlooked elements of this delicate equilibrium is water, the essence of life that nourishes every cell and sustains the organs that work tirelessly to keep us alive. For those living with chronic kidney disease, the importance of hydration transcends mere wellness. It becomes a cornerstone of survival, a shield against the silent erosion of function that can quietly accelerate if neglected. Dehydration, seemingly simple and often underestimated, is a silent predator, stripping away resilience from kidneys that are already vulnerable, quietly tightening its grip until the consequences are irreversible. Dr. Mathew R. Weir often reminds us that the kidneys, small yet mighty organs, are remarkably adaptive, yet profoundly sensitive to the stresses we impose upon them. When we fail to nourish our bodies adequately, when we ignore the signals of thirst, or dismiss the need for fluids in favor of fleeting convenience, we invite a cascade of challenges that threaten not only our health, but the very quality of our lives. It is within this context that we must awaken to the reality that prevention is not merely a recommendation, but an urgent moral responsibility we owe to ourselves. Imagine the kidneys as silent sentinels, tirelessly filtering, purifying, and maintaining the balance that keeps your life in motion. Yet they are dependent on the very substance we so easily overlook. In CKD, these sentinels are already battling diminished capacity, and dehydration becomes an unseen adversary, reducing blood flow and robbing them of their remaining strength. The profound truth, often lost in the routine of daily life, is that every day of neglect is a day where our own choices carve the path for future suffering or preservation. It is here, in the recognition of this silent struggle, that motivation takes on a deeper, more personal meaning. To value every sip, to respect the wisdom of our bodies, and to cultivate habits that safeguard our vitality. This is not merely about drinking water. It is about understanding the philosophy of care, the intimate connection between awareness, action, and consequence. Every individual with CKD holds a responsibility to honor their body, to see hydration not as a mundane routine, but as a conscious practice of self-respect and preservation. Dr. Mathew R. Weir, that the act of sustaining the kidneys through hydration is a deliberate, powerful choice, a daily affirmation that life is precious and must be guarded with intention. And yet, even with knowledge and guidance, human nature has a way of testing our resolve. The temptation to overlook small signs, to ignore subtle symptoms, to postpone self-care in favor of short-term comfort can be irresistible. It is precisely in these moments of hesitation that we must remind ourselves of the fragility of our organs, the relentless passage of time, and the irreversible consequences that can arise from complacency. In this struggle lies the essence of motivation, the understanding that we are capable of shaping the trajectory of our health, that our choices today echo through every heartbeat and every filtered drop of blood tomorrow. Hydration becomes a symbol, a simple yet profound representation of respect for life, a tangible action through which we affirm our commitment to longevity and well-being. This journey is philosophical as much as it is physical, a contemplation of cause and effect, of awareness and action, of the interplay between human frailty and the power of conscious care. By embracing this awareness, by internalizing the wisdom that Dr. Mathew R. Weir imparts, individuals with CKD can transform routine acts into deliberate strategies of preservation. The stakes are profound, yet the tools are within reach: water, mindfulness, and the unyielding determination to protect the gift of life entrusted to us. To witness the transformation that occurs when we honor this principle is to see not just improved kidney function, but a deeper alignment between mind, body, and the understanding that we are the ultimate stewards of our own vitality. Every moment becomes an opportunity to choose health over neglect, foresight over ignorance, and life over deterioration. It is a call to awaken, to pay attention, and to act. A reminder that the simplest actions, taken consistently and with awareness, are among the most powerful tools we possess. As we move deeper into understanding the silent consequences of dehydration, it becomes clear that the dangers are not always obvious. And this is where the tension of reality truly unfolds. For many living with chronic kidney disease, the threat is hidden, disguised by fleeting comfort, and often dismissed because it does not announce itself with drama or fanfare. The kidneys, resilient yet vulnerable, work tirelessly behind the scenes, filtering toxins, balancing electrolytes, and maintaining the intricate harmony of our internal environment. Dr. Mathew R. Weir often emphasizes that CKD kidneys are uniquely susceptible to these hidden threats, and dehydration is perhaps one of the most insidious. Picture for a moment a quiet river flowing steadily through a forest, calm, seemingly endless, providing life to every living creature along its banks. Now imagine that river shrinking gradually, almost imperceptibly, the water becoming shallow, the current weaker, until life along its edges begins to falter. This is what dehydration does to the kidneys: a slow constriction of blood flow, a diminishment of their capacity to sustain the body's balance, a subtle but relentless drain on what remains. The suspense builds when we realize that these consequences may not manifest immediately. The body compensates, masking the decline, providing a false sense of security. The real danger lies in the unnoticed, the overlooked, the delayed signals that, if ignored, can culminate in permanent damage. The clock is always ticking, and with every day of inadequate hydration, the delicate structure of the kidneys is placed under cumulative strain. Imagine waking one morning, feeling only mild fatigue or slight discomfort, never realizing that these seemingly small signs are whispers of a deeper, more serious process. The suspense lies in the quiet escalation, the invisible erosion of organ function that, when finally evident, may be irreversible. This is where awareness transforms into responsibility. The knowledge that every sip matters, that every decision to nourish your body with water can alter the course of your health in profound ways. Dr. Mathew R. Weir, that those who respect the vulnerability of their CKD kidneys and respond with conscious care can slow progression, preserve function, and reclaim agency over their own lives. But even with knowledge, the human mind struggles with the invisible, the subtle, and the delayed. We are wired to respond to immediate threats, to crises that demand urgent attention, yet the slow, silent accumulation of stress on our kidneys rarely triggers such alarm. And this is the moment where motivation is most critical. To cultivate foresight, to act not out of fear of what is visible today, but out of respect for what may unfold tomorrow. The suspense continues because the body is both resilient and fragile, capable of sustaining life through astonishing adaptation, yet limited in its endurance. Dehydration may reduce kidney blood flow by a fraction that seems insignificant at first glance, but over weeks, months, and years, this reduction accumulates into a force capable of permanently worsening CKD. In these hidden moments of vulnerability, every neglected reminder, every ignored signal, every postponed effort to hydrate becomes a thread in the tapestry of future suffering. Yet there is hope, profound hope, in the realization that action, when taken consciously, is transformative. The suspense turns into opportunity. By acknowledging the invisible struggle, by honoring the wisdom of the body, and by committing to the simple yet life-preserving act of hydration, individuals with CKD can rewrite the trajectory of their health. Dr. Mathew R. Weir reminds us that knowledge without action is incomplete, that awareness must be accompanied by deliberate practice, and that every choice to care for the kidneys is a choice to honor life itself. It is here that philosophy meets practicality, understanding that the unseen, the silent, the gradual forces of deterioration can be countered by the intentional, the mindful, and the persistent. Each day becomes a test of commitment, a demonstration of respect for the body's needs, and a reaffirmation that the small, consistent actions we take are the most powerful allies in the fight against CKD progression. The suspense we feel is not fear, but anticipation, anticipation of the moment when conscious effort translates into sustained vitality, when the kidneys, though challenged, are preserved through vigilance, and when the patient realizes that the power to protect their own life has always been in their hands. By embracing hydration as a deliberate practice, by responding to the hidden threats before they manifest visibly, we move from a state of passive vulnerability to active stewardship of our health. The journey is demanding because it requires discipline, awareness, and humility. Yet it is profoundly rewarding because it transforms what could be an inevitable decline into a story of resilience, foresight, and triumph. Dehydration is no longer a silent predator, but a challenge met with deliberate, intentional care, and each sip, each conscious effort, becomes a victory in the ongoing battle to preserve life, strength, and the dignity of well-being. Now, as we reach the culmination of this journey, it is time to reflect on the profound responsibility we carry over our own health, and to recognize that the smallest, most consistent actions often have the greatest impact. Hydration, simple yet essential, is more than a routine. It is a daily affirmation of respect for life, a conscious declaration that we will not allow neglect to dictate the fate of our kidneys or our future. Dr. Mathew R. Weir teaches that awareness without action is like a candle in the wind. Its light flickers, but cannot illuminate the path ahead. For those living with chronic kidney disease, this teaching is not abstract philosophy. It is practical, vital guidance. Every glass of water, every mindful effort to maintain balance, is a tangible step toward preserving kidney function and slowing the progression of CKD. The journey is not always easy. Life's demands, the pressures of work, family, and routine often distract us from the quiet, persistent care our bodies require. Yet, it is precisely in these moments that our choices define us. Will we act with foresight, embracing the discipline that preserves life, or will we succumb to temporary comfort at the expense of long-term well-being? The suspense lies not only in the hidden consequences of dehydration, but also in our own responses to the challenge. We must recognize that the kidney struggle is ongoing, silent and patient, and that our responsibility is to meet this struggle with equal patience and diligence. Dr. Mathew R. Weir that emphasizes that CKD patients are uniquely empowered to influence their own outcomes, not through dramatic interventions, but through consistent, mindful care that respects the fragile systems of the body. By understanding the science, honoring the physiology, and embracing hydration as a sacred daily practice, we step into a space of empowerment where fear is replaced by purposeful action and helplessness transforms into strength. Consider the magnitude of this transformation. A person who once felt passive in the face of their illness now becomes an active guardian of their own health, recognizing that prevention is not luck, but a deliberate choice repeated day after day. This realization brings with it a philosophical depth, that life's most critical battles are often waged quietly, within the body, and won through sustained awareness rather than visible drama. Every act of care, every decision to prioritize hydration, every acknowledgement of the kidney's vulnerability becomes an expression of love for oneself and for the gift of life. The suspense and uncertainty we face are not deterrents, but catalysts. They awaken a deeper understanding that vigilance is the foundation of resilience, that small efforts compound into profound outcomes, and that consistency is the true hero of health. In honoring this principle, we do more than protect our kidneys. We cultivate discipline, patience, and respect for the interconnected systems that sustain life. The story of CKD is not solely one of limitation and struggle. It is also a narrative of empowerment, wisdom, and the capacity to influence the course of our own well-being. As we internalize this truth, the philosophy of care becomes inseparable from daily practice. Each glass of water, each mindful choice, each act of self-respect reinforces the architecture of health and strengthens the foundation of life itself. Dr. Mathew R. Weir that reminds us that knowledge is the seed, but action is the soil in which life flourishes. When we combine awareness with intentional care, we not only protect kidney function, but cultivate a deeper alignment with our own potential, resilience, and capacity for self-mastery. Let this understanding inspire a transformation in perspective. Dehydration is no longer a silent threat, but a challenge met with clarity, purpose, and unwavering commitment. And so, as we conclude, the call is clear and urgent. Embrace the simplicity and power of hydration. Honor your body with deliberate action, and recognize that the choices you make today will ripple through your life tomorrow. Every step toward care is a step toward longevity, vitality, and the profound realization that your well-being is in your hands. The journey may be quiet, subtle, and demanding, but it is also deeply rewarding, because in these small, consistent acts lies the power to shape your own story of health, resilience, and purpose. If you're benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.